Working 7 to 3, 3 to 11, 11 to 7.
All right, welcome back to another edition of the Working Lunch. My name is Jeff Turgeon. I am from the MassHire Central Region Workforce Board. I am all business today. What do you think of that? Did you see how I was like laser focused?
Yeah, I'm not with you though. I'm like, your business, I'm like business casual. But
And why is that? And I know the reason. I'm just trying to make conversation.
I don't know, but
here.
let me introduce myself. And I'm Michaela Tucker Davis, and I represent MassHire Central Career Centers. Because clearly he's so business, he just didn't want to introduce me. But I am all business casual because I just returned from vacation.
Vacation in
Puerto Rico.
Ah,
See?
very nice.
To that roll of the.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful area.
It was very nice. Went to Old San Juan. I learned about just the defense of the city and a bunch of a lot of other historical facts that I didn't really know about. So it was great. Awesome.
I know from time to time it comes up whether they'll get go for statehood, and I think it's kind of a little bit like both sides need to agree, right? Like they're not always necessarily wanting. I don't know where that stands, but mark me down as for it. How's that? Can you mark me down as for it?
I'll make sure to write that down and jot that down.
I don't know what that's going to do for the effort, but
to do.
but well, I do. I had the chance when I worked at Job Corps. I went down there. They have 2 centers. Job Corps has 2 centers down there, so I got a chance to go down and visit with staff and meet the participants down there, and I loved it. It was it's a vibrant culture, as you know.
Absolutely, absolutely, it was very nice. I didn't know Job Corps had a location down there, so that's something I learned today. So that's awesome. That's a
one
great
right up in the
work
mountains
perk.
too of Vieques and then Barranquitas.
Oh, nice! Wow.
So the
awesome.
one I think it's Barranquitas is in like the mountains. Scariest time ever was I was with a local gal who liked to drive fast down the mountains. As you know, it's like and I was.
Holding on to
I'm
that
scared just
seatbelt.
thinking about. I literally just had like a flashback.
Flashback.
So at any rate, speaking about flashbacks, one of my oldest acquaintances here in the city. I've worked with this guy for years. I'm so excited to have him on officially on as a guest. Mr. Todd Smith, you are the Manager of Employer and Community Relations over at Worcester Community Action Council.
I am. Been there 30 years.
Wow.
Yep.
That makes me pretty old.
Well, we've known each other about
We
30,
have,
35 years. Yes.
Back to my YMCA days.
Yes, definitely.
We would do programming down there, and amazing stuff. So, welcome, and you're going to talk about. We got a lot of great stuff as always.
Yes.
MassHire works very closely with WCAC. I know you bill yourself as what, the anti-poverty? Is that
Anti-poverty,
Give me the spiel about WCAC in general.
The anti-poverty, they've been around for 55 years.
Yeah.
Since I want to say Lyndon Johnson, don't quote me if that's wrong.
That sounds right.
Yeah, we work with young adults 14 to 25, trying to get them summer youth employment. They'll work for 7 weeks at $16 to $18 an hour for 25 hours a week. We got over 100 employees that we match them up with. It'd be nonprofit, the city of Worcester, technology, daycare, retail.
So whether it's for-profit or nonprofit,
yes,
we actually work with the city hosts young people, and so this is the Youth Works program.
yes.
Yep. Love my hand gestures. Is that yeah? I know you. So I think we have a link. There we go. And so this is, you had said young people.
14 to 25. You can sign up online at the Worcester Community Action Council.net. You go to JEC, click on there, go to Summer Youth Employment, and there's an application, a drop down, and application, fill out the application. We're taking applications now. Until I want to say May 30th. May 30th. We got 5, we're trying to put 600 youth, between 525 and 600 youth to work this summer. We're partnered with the Department of Youth Opportunities. I think they're going to put 100 of their kids to work.
I have another question. So
Sure.
at the Career Center, we've been revamping youth services, and I have a lot of parents that call that are actively looking for their child or children to be involved in some type of youth employment. And they were also asking about like transportation. Do you guys help with kids getting back and forth to sites? Like, what does that look like? Or is everything pretty local?
Everything's pretty local,
Okay.
and no, we don't help because the buses are free, so
Right.
that should get them. But everything's local. We do work with a site out in Webster, but we would hire kids out in Webster so they can be there. But yeah, everything's local between walking distance and getting on free transportation.
So you had mentioned, I mean, about 100 work sites,
Yes.
about 470 youth, I think, this summer are going to be employed in Worcester alone, right? I think that's about that, right?
Yeah, I think 470, 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so with all those different work sites, I know what part of the magic is figuring out which kids get placed where and how that all kind of, including transportation issues. Right?
Yes. So on the application, we have 8 choices you can take: retail, daycare, maintenance, all that. So we want you to pick 1 through 3, your top 3 choices, and we try to place you in your top 3 choices. We interview you and talk, get a feel for you, what you want to do, and then once we're placing, we'll call you. Hey, Jeff, you've been placed at Doherty High School doing maintenance. Yay or nay?
Yeah.
Then, you know, so your first choice is where we try to put you, but we most likely, if we don't get you at first, second, we definitely get you at your third
Sure.
choice. Yes.
And I know this year, I should mention these are state funds that we utilize for this. This comes through the so Massachusetts, the governor's office of the Executive Office of Labor Workforce Development has the funds that are given through to the Commonwealth Corporation, which manages the program statewide, and then they send the money to the local areas. So the board works with WCAC, and we serve young people from Worcester, but also Southbridge, Milford, and now the Blackstone Valley through this Youth Works program. So WCAC handles all the Worcester, and you had mentioned some kids even out in Webster. So yeah, it's just like a massive program. And this year, I think older kids have an ability to even.
Yes, this year I want to say is our first year. We're going up to 25, and you know normally it was like 14 to 21, but within the last couple of years we increased the age. For this year, it's 25 years old. Yeah.
So great opportunity, and for those older youth, they can get a little bit more money in their pocket because you know, being older, probably a bit more mature,
Right.
they'll probably be placed in a little bit higher level placement, and I think they're getting 18.
Yes, 18. It's 14-year-olds, 16, 25, 24, 25-year-olds, $18 an hour, with a chance to. We're trying to place them on somewhere where they could get hired on full time.
Right.
Yeah.
Even after summer's over.
Yes,
That's
yes.
awesome.
So that's the main thing, is to get them full-time employment.
Are you still looking for any employer sites, or is that all filled up? I know that fills up pretty quick. I mean,
Yeah,
believe it or
yeah.
not, there's a lot of interest in hosting. So.
Yes, we closed that. We also have a fall cohort, so if they were interested in that, you could let them know about the fall program. Like the pamphlet I gave you
Yeah.
with the barcode, they could apply for the
I'm gonna
fall.
try to keep my hand.
So one other question I had to ask you is, do you have any success stories? Do you know any kids that are still working with their employers from last year? I know you guys, the goal is to get them hired maybe permanently after summer's over, but
Yes, at the site I had, the Boys and Girls Club,
Yeah.
there were 3 kids that got hired on full-time,
Okay, good.
well, part-time, full-time, and they're still working. So that, and there's kids I've known from like 10 years ago that I helped place,
Yeah.
and they're still at the same spot. They're like at the hospitals or at a warehouse that we place them. So
And they're starting to move up.
they're starting to move up, and they always come back and say, thank you, Mr. Smith, for getting me that job.
Doesn't it make your day?
It
I mean,
does.
honestly, that's the happiest I get is when I see someone from my old Job Corps days or YMCA
Yeah.
days who remembers me and says, "Oh, hey, you know, what are you doing now?" got a wife, I got kids, I got family, I got
Exactly.
a house, and it's like you feel like you had a little small
Part in that.
impact there,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. I always I tell them, I didn't get you the job, I just helped you lead to the job.
Yeah.
You did all the work.
Right.
So, but yeah, it makes you feel good once they come back and, then they volunteer. Hey, if you ever need me to speak to any other kids you're working with now, I'll be more
Isn't
than
that
happy
great?
to. Yes, that is great.
Now, did you grow up in Worcester?
I did. Yes.
So how did you get your way over to? How did you start your career?
So I was I graduated from Framingham State in '87. I went to Paul Revere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, the insurance company.
Yep. And then we moved on near West Boston Street to Hanover. They were doing layoffs. I got laid off, but one of my friends that worked there knew a gentleman named Bob Cagney who worked at WCAC for 150 years.
Right. I
And he kept saying-
remember, Bob.
He kept saying, Todd, Bob needs help, But I said, it's a layoff, it's close to the summer. I said, no, I want to enjoy the summer. So it was the second weekend, I was like sort of getting bored because everyone else I knew had a job, but I was thinking I was hanging out.
Yeah.
So he said, Todd, can you just please do it for the summer? That's all I'm asking you. I said, yeah. Did it for the summer.
Oh my God! 30
30
years later, you
oh,
are
here I
still
am.
there.
Yes.
Isn't that funny?
Yes.
I love stories like that. Yeah, just do it for the summer. Okay, I'll give it a couple months.
30 years later.
Exactly.
30
And it was a
years.
blessing because I love helping people.
Right.
Well, I was gonna say, what do you like most about your job?
Seeing the young people succeed,
Yeah.
because they could be on one path, making wrong choices, and then they come to myself and other people on the JEC team. We sit down, talk to them, and lead them in the right direction. Then they're, hey, I didn't know I could do this, because they're looking at job ads saying, what? But we're saying, hey, you can do it.
Yeah.
Just because it says you need experience or you need a bachelor's, you got the experience. So come on, apply. We help them with their resume, things like that.
So you mentioned JEC. Do you know what JEC stands for?
I can help
Job
you out. Education
Yes, that's
Center.
good. You got one.
Education.
Yes.
Center.
Yes.
I read lips. I don't want to lie.
So what's some of the other programs? I know YouthWorks is coming up, obviously, and that's why we're promoting it here today. But there's some other great stuff that you're doing at the JEC. What's some of the other things kids work on, young people work on?
Oh, we have talent LMS. It's a more upscale version of work readiness.
Okay.
We help them do their resume, interviewing skills, things like that. Get them prepared and we help them look for jobs online.
Yeah.
Help them apply for the job, and once they get an interview, we do mock interviews with them, things like that.
I love mock interviewing.
Do you?
Yeah,
Do you
I
do?
do.
Oh,
Yeah?
we're looking for people to help
I
us.
do.
So
Oh yeah,
okay.
absolutely, I do. I think because it's helped me. Like if you don't prepare, there are
Right.
some questions
Yeah.
that'll get thrown your way. Like where do
Yeah.
you see yourself in the next 5 years? And I think that's hard for a
Yeah.
youth
Yeah.
or a young person to answer. So I think practice makes perfect. Without a plan, you plan to fail. So I love mock interviews.
One of the hardest questions I've ran into is, tell me a little bit about yourself. They're not used to talking about themselves,
Right.
so they get stuck. The things that they don't think are important that we know are important, they won't say. So once we go over it,
I find it too personally about what's your greatest weakness?
Yes,
It's like you're like you don't want to share, you don't want to give them the
Right.
real deal, but you're
Yeah.
trying not. I care too much.
Yeah.
yes, I take work home with me. yeah.
You know what? I eat other people's food in the lunchroom. I go into the refrigerator. I just can't help myself. I go in and I eat other people's food.
And this is what not to do in an interview, people. So I would be the good mock interview person, and Jeff would be the what
I'd be
not
the
to do.
horrible
Yeah, he's what
mock
not to
interview
do.
people. But so the JEC. So who is if there's a parent out there, maybe they're a young person, they're young, maybe their child left school. Is it for just kids that have dropped out? Is it kids that maybe finish high school? What's the age and what's the criteria to get served by the JEC?
14 to 25.
Yeah.
It's for kids that graduated, dropped out. We also have a high set program.
Oh, nice.
We could enroll them in that
Yeah.
if that's what they want to do. I mean, a lot of kids don't want to do it right away, but we've talked to them and say, hey, we can help you find employment, but eventually you're going to have your high set. So we're not
Which is the high school equivalency.
we're not forcing you right now to do it, but you have to. That's something to think about. you're going to go so far. But if you don't have your high school
It's
diploma,
interesting. There's a lot of parents out there with kids that are just haven't found themselves, and obviously it's great for them to recognize it and come to you. But oftentimes it's maybe a little nudge from a parent. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you get calls? I get a fair
calls
amount of calls
all
from
the
parents.
time,
like,
yeah,
what can
from
my-
parents,
What can a
like-
young person do? So
Looking for a pathway. So that is awesome.
and I do too. It's like, oh, you had my parent in school. I'm like, oh, okay. So.
oh no, that must have been my dad. Yeah.
So, and parents are coming, hey, Todd, can you help me? I got some emails today. My kid turned 14. Todd, can you help me? Are you still with WCAC? Yep. I'm saying, gee, if your kid's 14, I had you at 14, I must be 112.
I had the almost exact same conversation with Dave Terendi from the Job
Oh,
Corps.
yes.
Dave
Yep.
is
So
I
he's
grew
in
up
our
with him.
office. He recruits for the Job Corps, and he's been around
Yep.
as
Long time, yep.
a long
Yeah.
time too. And so we just kind of laugh about some of the conversations we have with people that like that. So it's just it's just great to
Yeah.
and again to see them come back as parents and be like, I remember how much you helped me or whatever. Right now,
Exactly,
can you
yep.
help this
My
person I
kid,
know?
Yep. Yep.
Isn't it amazing?
It is.
Yep.
I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there.
You're getting there.
Yes.
So if you haven't heard, Michaela is our new youth services at the Career Center. So
Oh,
obviously a lot
congratulations.
of linkage there. So.
Yeah, and this is great. So that way I have some resources to bring back to parents as well. Because I just got 2 calls while I was away about trying to find some employment for the youth. So this is awesome. And you don't have to have any pre-involvement with WCAC. You can
No.
just go right on that website.
Go right on. Yep.
Application.
Right.
Go
right.
from there.
And if they're having
Perfect.
trouble, I'll give you a couple of my cards and you can have them call me.
Okay. Awesome.
So we're talking with Todd Smith, the manager of business and community relations. Close enough?
Manager of Employees and Community Partnerships.
Tell them to get that title right.
Learn the
Yeah,
ballpark,
come,
learn the
put some
ballpark.
respect on it.
Similar.
It took me 30 years to get that title.
There we go. Well, it's been an amazing journey. Amazing to be there with you in the city to watch your career, and thank you for all the help you've provided for all of our customers and all the youth there. And so folks can check out the YouthWorks program on your website if they're
Yes.
interested in a summer job. Todd, thanks for coming on the Working Lunch. Anything we've forgotten to ask you about? Or
No, I appreciate you guys having me.
Thank you for being here.
All right.
All right. And we'll see you on the next episode of the
Working Lunch.
Kiss my baby, got on my way. 'Cause I'm working till it's hurting. That's the only way to make an honest day's pay. So I'm working even when it's hurting. That's the only way to make an honest day's wage. Yeah, I'm up early with the birdies, ready to get dirty. This ain't a song for you if you asleep at 7:30. I rise like the sun on the bag of the pounds. At full throttle in the bottle like that homemade shine. I'm just trying to make a living. Boss man tripping, my overtime strong, I don't pay him no attention. Money in the mason jar, country boy pitching. Old lady, 3 kids, take